Our knight's day starts before sunrise. No snooze buttons here. The rooster's crow is his alarm clock, and the first light of dawn is his signal to rise. The life of a knight is one of discipline and duty, and it all begins with the early morning wake-up call. As the first rays of sunlight filter through the small window, our knight stretches and prepares to face the day ahead. First things first, he's got to pray. Religion was a big deal back then. Before any action, he seeks divine guidance and strength. In the quiet solitude of a small chapel, he kneels, holding a cross in his hand, whispering prayers for protection and courage. This moment of reflection and connection with a higher power is crucial, setting the tone for the challenges he will face. Then, it's time to tackle that armor. Imagine putting on a puzzle made of metal, and each piece weighs a ton. The process is meticulous and requires patience. Each piece must fit perfectly, providing both mobility and protection. It's not just about strength, it's about precision, and understanding the intricacies of his gear. First, the chainmail, which is like a shirt made of tiny metal rings. This chainmail is his first line of defense, flexible yet strong, designed to absorb and deflect blows. It's a marvel of medieval engineering, each ring interlinked to create a mesh that moves with his body. Then the padding, because even tough guys need a little cushion. The padded gambeson is essential, providing comfort and additional protection. It helps to distribute the weight of the armor and prevents chafing during long hours of wear. This layer is as important as the metal itself, ensuring that our knight can endure the rigors of battle. Finally, the armor plates, strategically placed to protect our knight from pointy objects coming his way. Each plate is designed to cover vital areas, from the breastplate guarding his chest to the vambraces shielding his arms. The armor is a testament to the craftsmanship of the blacksmiths, combining functionality with artistry. It's a workout before the workout. By the time he's fully suited up, he's already broken a sweat. The weight of the armor and the effort required to don it is a physical challenge in itself. But for our knight, this is just the beginning. With a deep breath, he prepares to step out, ready to face whatever the day has in store. The armor is not just protection, it's a symbol of his readiness and resilience, a testament to his commitment to his duty and his readiness to defend his honor and his land. After getting dressed, our knight heads to the training yard. Think of it as a medieval gym, but instead of treadmills and dumbbells, it's all swords, shields, and sweaty dudes in armor. They practice sword fighting, lance throwing, and hand-to-hand combat. It's all about honing those skills for the real deal, because when duty calls, you don't want to be the guy who brings a sword to a lance fight. Now let's talk battles. The medieval battlefield was a place of sheer chaos and raw human emotion. It was a world where strategy met brute force, and where the outcome of a single clash could change the course of history. Forget those Hollywood scenes with perfectly choreographed fights and clean armor. In reality, knights went into battle with armor that was often dented, dirty, and far from the shiny suits we see in movies. Their gear bore the marks of previous skirmishes, each dent and scratch telling a story of survival. Real battles were chaotic, messy, and terrifying. Imagine the noise, the clanging of metal, the shouts of men, the thundering of hooves. The air was thick with the smell of sweat, blood, and fear. It was a sensory overload that could overwhelm even the most seasoned warrior. Imagine hundreds of guys in clanking metal suits, charging at each other with swords, axes, and maces. The ground beneath them shook as they ran, and the impact of their collision was like a thunderclap. Each knight had to rely on their training, their instincts, and a bit of luck to survive. Section 5, party, like it's 1099. When they weren't off fighting, knights knew how to let loose. They had a unique way of celebrating life and enjoying the moments of peace they had. These moments were cherished and often turned into grand events. Banquets were the medieval version of a night out. These gatherings were not just about eating and drinking, they were social events where knights could bond, share stories, and enjoy each other's company. We're talking massive feasts with enough food to feed a small army. The tables would be laden with a variety of dishes, showcasing the culinary skills of the cooks and the wealth of the host. Roast meats, flagons of ale, and an assortment of other delicacies were always on the menu. The aroma of the food would fill the hall, making everyone's mouth water in anticipation, and maybe even a jester telling bad jokes. These jesters were the entertainers of the time, bringing laughter and joy to the gathering. Their performances were a highlight of the evening. It was a chance to unwind, celebrate victories, and revel in the camaraderie that was so important to their way of life. These celebrations were a testament to their resilience and spirit. And forget about the dangers of battle. The feast provided a much-needed respite from the constant threat of war. For a few hours they could relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor, at least for one night. These nights were filled with music, laughter, and the clinking of flagons. The atmosphere was electric, and the memories made during these times were cherished forever. Music played a significant role in these gatherings. Skilled musicians would play instruments like lutes and harps, providing a melodic backdrop to the festivities. Their tunes would often inspire spontaneous dancing and singing. Dancing was a common sight at these banquets. Knights and their companions would take to the floor, moving to the rhythm of the music. It was a way to express joy and celebrate life. Toasts were made to honor the brave, the fallen, and the future. Each toast was a moment of reflection and gratitude, a reminder of the bonds that held them together. Storytelling was another key element of these gatherings. Knights would share tales of their adventures, battles, and travels. These stories were not just entertainment, they were a way to pass down knowledge and keep their history alive. Laughter echoed through the halls as jokes and humorous anecdotes were shared. The ability to laugh, even in the face of adversity, was a crucial part of their resilience. Games and competitions were also a part of the festivities. Knights would engage in friendly contests of strength, skill, and wit. These games were a way to showcase their abilities and build camaraderie. The food was not just sustenance, it was a celebration of abundance and prosperity. Each dish was prepared with care and presented with pride. The act of sharing a meal was a symbol of unity and fellowship. The high spirits and merriment were infectious. The energy in the room was palpable, and everyone was swept up in the joy of the moment. These were the times that reminded them of the beauty of life. Amidst the revelry, there were moments of quiet reflection. Knights would take a moment to think about their journey, their comrades, and the path ahead. These moments of introspection were as important as the celebrations themselves. The bonds formed during these gatherings were strong and lasting. The shared experiences, the laughter, and the stories created a sense of brotherhood that was unbreakable. As the night drew to a close, the knights would begin to prepare for the next day. The feasts were a brief respite, but the duties and responsibilities of a knight were never far from their minds. They would bid each other good night, knowing that the bonds they had strengthened that evening would carry them through the challenges ahead. The sense of unity and support was a source of strength for each knight. As they left the hall, the memories of the night would linger. The laughter, the music, the camaraderie. These were the moments that made the hardships of their lives bearable. Under the stars, they would reflect on the night's events. The sky, vast and unending, was a reminder of the world beyond their battles and feasts. It was a moment of peace and contemplation. Finally, they would find rest, knowing that the bonds they had forged and the memories they had created would stay with them. The feasts were more than just a night of revelry. They were a celebration of life, friendship, and the enduring spirit of the knights. Section 6, a knight's best friend. You think knights just hung out with other knights all day? Think again. They had squires, young apprentices who helped them with everything. Imagine a teenage assistant who polished your armor, helped you get dressed, and even went into battle with you. Talk about a dirty job. But hey, it was an apprenticeship and somebody had to teach these young lads the ropes, right? Section 7. Chivalry isn't dead, it's just napping. Now, being a knight wasn't all about fighting and feasting. They had this code of conduct called chivalry. It was all about honor, courage, and respect for women. Think of it like the medieval version of being a gentleman. Of course, not all knights lived up to the ideal. Some were more interested in ale and brawling than chivalry. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? Here's something you might not know. Being a knight was expensive. That suit of armor, the weapons, the horses, it all cost a pretty penny. Knights were usually wealthy landowners who could afford to equip themselves for battle. Think of it like investing in a high-tech suit of armor today. It's a big commitment. Movies always show knights falling for damsels in distress, and hey, sometimes it happened. But most knights were already hitched. Marriages were often arranged for political reasons. Love? That was just a bonus. Still, a knight was expected to treat his lady with respect and courtesy. Remember that whole chivalry thing? When they weren't fighting or wooing ladies, knights enjoyed a surprising number of leisure activities. They loved hunting, hawking, that's hunting with birds for you city slickers, and playing games. Chess was a big deal, and they even had board games similar to backgammon. Hey, even warriors need to relax and have some fun, right? Being a knight was a tough gig, no doubt about it, but it was also a life filled with adventure, camaraderie, and maybe even a little romance. So, next time you see a knight in shining armor, remember there's more to the story than meets the eye. They may not have had smartphones or indoor plumbing, but they knew how to live life to the fullest. And hey, that's something we can all admire, right? Subscribe for more epic tales.